I'm Josh, and I'm going to talk to you today about how to pick the best vacuum cleaner. I'm not going to make brand recommendations or talk about different features, but rather what we're going to go over is the decision-making process that you can go through to pick the best vacuum for your environment. Worldwide, the vacuum industry is a $9 billion industry per year. My mom told me that the love of money is the root of evil. With that much money, there's a lot of room for people to take advantage of that market. I think that's the number one reason that it can be difficult to make a purchase decision and to adequately research when you're trying to pick a vacuum cleaner. Every company wants you to buy their product, and that $9 million, a lot of that money goes into marketing to you and trying to sway your opinion. I'm going to try to distill that down and help you to make an educated choice and get the perfect product for you. I'm not going to talk to you about advertising. I assume that because you're researching this and trying to make an educated decision about your purchase decision, that you are not susceptible to late night infomercial ads on vacuum cleaners. Now, product placement is where you can purchase the product, the venue that is selling it. I'm going to talk about product price a little bit later when we talk about price versus value. You really have three different options for where you purchase a vacuum cleaner. You have large department stores like Target and Kohl's and Walmart. You have online, places like Amazon and other websites. And then you have stores that specialize in just vacuum cleaners. And those are basically your three options. Something you might find rather quickly in your research is that different vacuum cleaner brands are only available in specific venues in some cases. Another thing you might notice is that a particular brand may only offer specific models in one venue and not in another venue. The reason for this boils down to value. So certain brands may only offer extensive warranties on their products in specialty stores that contract with them to do the warranty service inside the store. For example, you may be able to buy a model on Amazon that has a 1-year warranty for $500, but in a warranty center, you may be able to buy the same product under a different model number for the same price with a 10-year warranty. When I think of value in a product like a vacuum cleaner, I think of three different things. I think of effectiveness. So in the case of a vacuum, how thoroughly is it really going to clean my floors? I also think about usability and feature set. Is this something that I'm going to want to use? Is it going to be easy for me to use, get it out, get the job done, and put it back again? But the third thing that I think about when I think about value is longevity. How long is it going to run without breaking, right? And also, if it does fail, am I going to be able to get it repaired for a reasonable cost? I think that's a really easy one. It's an easy way to quantify value based on the longevity of the product, and I talk about that a lot. So now I'm going to show my bias. You've probably noticed that I'm staying in a vacuum store, and may have guessed I work at a vacuum store. So I kind of think you should probably go to a vacuum store when you're looking at making a vacuum cleaner purchase. Here's the thing though, you're probably not anywhere near my vacuum store. So the tips I'm going to give you are about how to pick a vacuum store, where you're located, things to look for, and maybe some of the questions that you can ask when you're there. So the first thing when you're deciding what vacuum store to go to is check out their online reviews. Every store, depending on how much traffic they have, how big of an area they're covering, they're going to have a different amount of reviews. But a few things to look for is the consistency over time of reviews. So if a store typically has one review added per month, the customer reviewing it once a month, and all of a sudden you see a month where they get 50 reviews, there's something suspicious going on there. Another thing I encourage you to look for is look for typos in the reviews. Real human beings that are leaving reviews for businesses are on their phones fumbling around, I had a great experience or I had a terrible experience, and they leave typos. If all of their reviews seem like they were written by a professional writer, there's something suspicious there. Typically in our industry, a normal rating, a star rating on Google is going to be, for a good store, is going to be 4 or above. If you see a store that has a 5-star review, they've never gotten any negative reviews and they've got hundreds of reviews, that's another thing you might want to be suspicious about. On your best day in retail, you're going to have some people that get ticked off over nothing. So look for some negativity and see how the store responds to it before you even go in. One of the most important things about looking at vacuum cleaners in vacuum cleaner stores, I think, is that vacuum cleaner stores have demonstration units plugged in of every model they sell. So while you can spend hours online reading through reviews that are left by complete strangers or possibly people who are paid to leave reviews, in a vacuum store you can figure it out for yourself because the product is right there plugged in to try. Now, there's nothing wrong with going to more than one vacuum cleaner store to check out the products. Sometimes smaller stores will only have 1 or 2 brands, and maybe there's 3 or 4 brands that you wanted to look at. Don't expect to see a big price difference between stores, and don't try to get them into a battle on price against each other though. Most of the premium products have manufacturers accepted pricing, and if a store drops the price below the price they have to charge per manufacturer contract, they could get in trouble, and they're usually not going to do it. If you find somebody who's willing to do it, you probably should be nervous about that. If they're willing to do that, who knows what they're going to do if you have a warranty claim in the future. So in conclusion, I encourage you to keep an open mind. There's a perfect vacuum out there for every home, every person. By going into a vacuum store, you have the opportunity to talk to an expert in the industry who's seen literally thousands of models of vacuum cleaners and can help you to narrow down your choices.